Lethal Company, one of the most played games as of right now, released a patch with a feature that a lot of people have been asking for. It's a common accessibility feature that, even if a game doesn't have one, a group of people always finds a way to mod it in. And that is the arachnophobia setting. So as a disclaimer, as someone with arachnophobia myself, this video will contain no images of spiders, but will involve some description of spider-like things. If imagery of spiders are needed, they'll be completely censored or replaced with an artist's rendition. Me, I'm the artist. I'll be showing you an example picture that will be used if necessary, so feel free to click away if you're still uncomfortable with this. I'll be showing the artwork in 3, 2, 1. If this has upset you, I am terribly sorry. Arachnophobia mode usually turns the spider-like creatures in your game to anything that isn't spiders. This can be anywhere between replacing them with other enemies, outright removing them, or altering their appearance to not resemble spiders at all. In Lethal Company, it turns them into this. The word spider. Now, for someone like me who absolutely freezes or tenses up tighter than a pair of Speedos at the sight of anything resembling a spider, this update is an absolute godsend, because now the game is at a point where it's tolerable for me to play. There is one issue that I have, and it's that its mandibles are still visible, which is one thing that specifically makes me uncomfortable. For others, sometimes it's the imagery of something moving like a spider, the sounds of spiders crawling or hissing, or even seeing the webbing. In Lethal Company, the crawling sounds and webbing are still untouched, so it's unfortunate for anyone who's set off by those. Nevertheless, an arachnophobia mode is a great option to start making these kinds of games more accessible. And no, putting funny hats on the spiders does not count as an arachnophobia mode. For something to functionally act like an arachnophobia feature, it has to remove any semblance of a spider. Anyone who looks at the altered model, phobia or not, has to say without a doubt, that is not a spider. Jedi Fallen Order does a terrible job at this because its arachnophobia mode just turns the creatures low poly. They still look and move similarly. Hogwarts Legacy does a good job though, since it completely changes their appearance, removes the legs, and replaces them with floating roller skates. Grounded is also very nice because there's a slider to adjust how tolerable of a spider you're willing to deal with, which is great for immersion. But the downside is that you have to look at the spider to see what changes are being made. It can be full-on spider or just a bunch of shapes. Now, while technically not spiders, these features can also extend to creatures like crabs and scorpions. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying, what's the point in getting rid of something that people are afraid of in a horror game? And that's a valid question, since a lot of people don't really understand the difference between fear and phobia. Both fear and phobia incite the feeling of being scared, but one is a rational response of something that's potentially dangerous, while the other is an irrational response to something that's generally non-threatening. An example of each would be like someone who is afraid of driving or being a passenger in a vehicle. It's possible they got in a car accident, so they're afraid of being in a car, but they're still able to drive or be driven around. However, someone with amaxophobia, the fear of being in a vehicle, would prevent someone from even setting foot in a vehicle. They wouldn't even be able to ride the bus, let alone be in a car. In terms of arachnophobia, a rational response to a spider would be maybe surprised or uncomfortable, maybe even curious and cautious because you just found a bug and you're not really sure if it's venomous or not. So you kill it, you trap it and release it, or you just let it live because you know it's the kind of spider that isn't venomous and can't hurt you. Now, here's an irrational response to a spider from Oro Crony.
Holy sh! Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh, what the frick? Ah, what the fuck? There's a big ass spider on the ceiling! Oh wait, I gotta finish reading the supers. Oh my fucking, oh my god, please don't do this, not now. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Now, I'm not certain if Crony has arachnophobia or not, and we don't actually know what kind of spider it was, but chances are she wasn't going to die. Arachnophobia is truly unique because out of all the phobias, it's the most common phobia to incite feelings of anxiety and fear solely through depictions and imagery. The reason why we see a lot of attention when it comes to arachnophobia over any other phobia, like snakes or dogs, is that it's easier to trick the brain that a spider is nearby than it is to trick the brain that a dog is nearby. Some people can even experience phantom sensations when mentioning spiders. For a long while, if I had a headset on and someone mentioned a spider, I would have to remove my headset because I would get those phantom sensations on my head and on my ears. It's also unfortunate that spiders as creatures are extremely common, especially in fantasy settings like Lord of the Rings, The Elder Scrolls, and Dungeons and Dragons. So here's an embarrassing story about my arachnophobia. Here's what my lock screen looks like, and yes, I know I'm getting Mike Wazowski, but let's just ignore that. Late at night, I got a notification and I opened my phone to check it. My eyes were focused around this area, and I didn't have my glasses, so it was kind of blurry. I got this part of my lock screen in my peripheral vision, and in complete darkness, I thought it was a spider that just crawled onto my phone. I slammed my phone face down onto my bed, I jumped up, threw my blanket over it, and I stomped on it. It's pretty embarrassing realizing that I'm reacting in such a way to something that's not even there. And it's not something I really like living with. And people with all kinds of phobias go through these mental gymnastics to convince themselves there's nothing to be afraid of, only for our brains to override any rational thinking. I'm extremely upset over this condition I have, because it stops me from enjoying a fair number of games that I genuinely love playing. I can't play Skyrim without modding the spiders out. To be able to do the Queen Goma fight in Twilight Princess, I need to stare at my rupee counter while focusing on my own breathing. I stalled for like 20 minutes in my playthrough of Resident Evil 4 because someone in my chat said there were spider creatures in it, and I have yet to finish Hollow Knight because there's a whole segment where you have to deal with spiders crawling across your screen. These are genuinely fun games that I like playing, but because of one type of enemy, it completely halts my progress. So imagine this. You're playing a game and you're having a great time, you're invested in the story, you're engaged with the gameplay, and all of a sudden you come across a glitch that just crashes your game whenever you load into a particular area. Sometimes you can get through some of the area, but ultimately it just crashes after a while. You want to continue, but something is stopping you from progressing. Now, going back to my original point, spiders in horror games, what's the point in changing them if the point is to be scared? Well, for arachnophobes, spiders are that glitch. We have this glitch in our brain that just halts all progress we want to make and just shuts everything down. We have to take steps to avoid the area or find a mod that just gets rid of whatever's making the glitch happen. It's either that or we just hope that we don't crash trying to get through this part of the game. Fortunately for me, the more cartoony a spider looks, the more tolerable it is for me. So things like Minecraft spiders, Ocarina of Time Skulltulas, spider-like Pokemon, they're all in the clear. Except for you, Rockwanid. You're on thin ice. So I can't speak for everyone, but for me, a lot of the thrill of playing horror games comes from overcoming the feeling of helplessness. Hiding and escaping from a seemingly invincible monster, exercising a vengeful spirit, or retrieving a precious item from an abomination, these are all satisfying accomplishments that can only be experienced through horror games or horror segments. Sometimes, the appearance of monsters don't really matter. For example, characters like Mr. X, Lady Dimitrescu, and Jack from the Resident Evil series, they just look like people. They're strong and menacing and intimidating, and when these guys enter the room, your reactions should be something like, ah shit. Their appearances aren't inherently scary, but their presence is. And sure, the appearance of enemies can affect your immersion and change how scared you are of them. For example, Dead Space's necromorphs are gonna make you feel differently than the leader of a literature club. At the end of the day, most of the enemies are there to play cat and mouse with you. Now, in terms of lethal company, there are many different kinds of monsters that fill different roles. Some cut off and restrict areas, some force you to communicate and work together, some force you to stay quiet. And it's not all simple hide and chase monsters. It's important to be able to identify which creature you're dealing with so you can approach the situation accordingly. If all the creatures were changed to red text, it would make the game not very fun to play. If every enemy looked similar, you'd have a hard time figuring out what you should be doing in the presence of a creature. The spider, however, it's exactly cat and mouse. The defining feature of the spider enemy is that it chases you and lays web traps to hinder and locate you. This type of monster can be anything as long as it fulfills the role of chase and trap. It could be a frog that leaves behind slime, it could be a lumberjack that lays bear traps, it could literally just be the word spider, which it is. Because all it's going to do is look for you and chase you down. People have been saying that Lethal Company is more of a comedy game than a horror game, so the fact that their arachnophobia mode changes the spider into the word spider it fits well with the overall mood of the game. And I think that it's great that there are developers that are aware that people want to play their game but can't, so they add accessibility features so people can enjoy their games. Now, I'm not asking for us to move away from spider enemies as a whole. Spider enemies are iconic. They're apex predators of the insect world. Removing them completely would be a disservice to creative works of fiction. However, having a substitute for them would make things greatly accessible, especially since they have this uncanny ability to cause anxiety in arachnophobes from just simple images. If you have issues with accessibility in video games, that's a different topic for a whole different video. And to all the people saying that this update is stupid and that gamers are getting soft and it ruins their immersion, don't use it. It's optional. It's not about you. Not everything is about you. You don't want to eat your peas, don't eat them. I bet you also complain about easy mode. All right, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. My name's Akir Dolce. I've been an arachnophobe for 37 years. I think it all started with a page from the Guinness Book of World Records with a macro photograph of a spider, or maybe it was like the scene from Alien with the face huggers. I don't know. I recently saw a clip of Peppa Pig where a spider crawled out of their sink and I nearly fell out of my chair. Anyways, I'm not a content creator, but I really like editing videos and audio mixing, and I can't guarantee that I'll make any more video essays, but I had a lot of fun expressing myself and showing how my brain works through making this video. So subscribe if you liked it, and maybe there'll be something that compels me to make another video. All right. Thanks for watching. See ya.